Hello? How's there immediately a cat air in my mouth? Is it because Arwen is here? Yes. And she immediately moved her face. Look. Get a morning cat. She's been here all day. All morning. Demanding pets. Hey? Oh, you're very cute. Oh, I didn't bring up the new cat candy. Rip, listen. We have new cat candy, I promise. I will bring it up after the break. Because my ass forgot. It's okay. Arwen heard me say that and said, okay, bye. She's gonna sit in the tiny bit of sun. The tiny bit of sun in my room. Look at that. I know from a distance it looks like there's a ton of sun there. Not really. There's a tiny, tiny amount of it. It's just that the lighting's weird. Webcams, am I right? Hi, Vulcan. Oh, I see they unbanned Seribot. Good. Hi, Vulcan. Hi, Landar. Hi, Elvaniel. Elvaniel, did you... This. Or this. Have you thought about what entrance alert you want yet? Because I feel like I forgot to ask every single time now. I see Shia. Oh yes, rip carpets. I vacuumed this morning. Jinsey wants to finish the game, so if we talk, people must get banned. Nah, we'll finish it. We'll finish it. What was left? What did you say was left in, like, the full playthrough? 3 hours or something? We got this. Hi, Lonias. Hello, hello. I am the ban hammer. No, listen, it's okay. We'll figure it out. We'll overtime a little bit or something if we don't. But I think we'll be okay. Hi, Kaisa. Hi, Entropy. Welcome in. Swords for everyone. Hi, Duke. Hello. Hi, Linny. Stopping in to say hi. I got off work at 7 AM and went to breakfast with mother and about to finally sleep. I am so glad you get to sleep. I hope you sleep wonderfully. I hope you have great dreams. I hope you just, your head hits the pillow and you just, gone. Absolutely gone. Hi, Danelle. Hello, hello. Hi, Carrie. Arwen is just exuding such an aura of light. No, that's true. Yeah, she is kind of a light bringer. Did you know that Tyndall doesn't particularly like herring? That's so specific. I also don't like herring. Danny! Happy birthday!
1, 2, 3, 4! Happy birthday from all of us to you. We wish it was our birthday so we could party too. Happy birthday and all your dreams come true. We wish it was our birthday so we could
It's your birthday!
Happy birthday, Danny! I hope you're having a wonderful day. I hope you're having so many snacks. And that you didn't even have to make them yourself. I hope other people brought you snacks and said, today you don't have to do anything but eat my snacks. 3 hours or so? Yeah, that's so manageable. Otter, hello! Otter is finishing Final Fantasy X today. Otter, when does your stream start? From right now. When? How many hours? So I know how long to overtime. Hi, Duke. I know I already said hello, but you get another one because you're special to me. I have no clue. Okay, fair enough. If you think of something and you're like, middle of the night, just let me know. I'll figure it out. Hi, Panda. Hello, hello. Good time zone. Welcome in, everyone. A dislike of herring can be cured. I tried eating herring so many times. It doesn't click. I don't know what it is. I think it's the mouthfeel. You know, the mouthfeel of herring. Do you ever think about the mouthfeel of herring? No, I do. Too much, probably. Hi, Glocks. Hello. 4 hours from now? Okay, so that's like exactly my stream time. So I'm going to raid you. Deal with it. I am going to raid you. Because Otter is finishing Final Fantasy X today. And I love Final Fantasy X. He decided not to finish it on, what is it? Thursday? Friday? Whichever. He decided not to finish it so that I could be there. Obviously. That's why he didn't finish it. For me. Velico, did I say hello? Hi, Velico. You got 2 if not. Multiple hellos for everybody today. And you like herring? You can have all the herring. I'm not going to take your herring. I simply will not. I literally bought sparkling rosé for the occasion. Incredible. Hi, Wall. Good time zone. I thought this video would be more fitting with my birthday and the game you're playing today. Okay, wait. Just for you because I love you. Just for you. Okay, wait. Oh, no, wait. Don't play yet. Wait.
Rats, rats, we are the rats. Celebrate another one a birthday batch. Michael, it's your birthday today. Cake and ice cream is on its way. And Michael, you're such a good boy this year. Open up your gifts while we all cheer.
Michael! Specifically for Michael. Wait, it's from a movie? It's actually from Rat Movie 2? No, but actually? No, shut up. They actually... No. No way is this real. You got both. You got both. What the hell? Incredible. Fatty fish are really good for our skin health? Yeah, but it doesn't taste good. That's the thing. It doesn't taste good. I'm so pissed because someone spoiled a thing about the boss I got to. Really? I feel like I already talked a lot. Like, sometimes I was like, Jinsey, are you on the edge right now? And like, I kind of was. But I would never. Disgusting. Did you ban them immediately? Hi, Nyan Nyan! Hello! Yo, today, actually, yesterday, I started on my ADHD medication yesterday. And I sit like, okay, I know that they are literally drugs, but I've been on other drugs before. But I took those meds, these specific ones, and I felt like I was on drugs. Does that make sense? Like, I was so woozy. Like an hour and a half after taking them. Just absolutely just... And then, okay, this, I didn't notice I was doing this. Okay, a few things happened, okay? Okay, so, say okay one more time. A few things happened, right? One, I stopped worrying, which is really weird and unexpected. I did not think that that was part of that. But I didn't realize until I took the drugs. I took the drugs and the drugs are working. I did not realize until I took the drugs that I was literally constantly worrying about everything. Like the entire Sunday, while I was literally on drugs, I was just like, yo, it's Sunday, I don't gotta do shit. So I literally didn't do shit. I played Rune Factory 3 for like 90% of the day. And then I cooked some nice, like, butterbean thing. It was really tasty. I went for a nice walk. That was my whole Sunday. That was my Sunday. It was great. The other thing that happened, which I was hoping that would happen. It was great. I was playing Rune Factory 3, and normally I will have something on the other screen, right? No matter what I'm doing, I will have something on the other screen. So I had a video on of something, and I realized I was playing Rune Factory 3, and I was just ignoring the video. Fully ignoring the video. And I realized I did not need this video. And I turned off my second screen for the first time in, like, what, 10 years? I straight up turned it off and said, I'm playing Rune Factory 3, actually. I do not have time to focus on this video. I cannot. I am actually using every single part of my focus on playing Rune Factory 3. It was great. I had a really good time. Yeah. So those were the two things that happened. It did mess up my sleep pretty hard, but it's alright. We'll figure that out because this is really helpful. I'm going to work on videos and see how that goes. See how working on videos goes. Know what I'm saying? Know what I'm saying? I did ban them. Good. It's what they deserve. They might have been wrong, just like all the other things they backseated about. Wait, I'm gonna whisper you, Otter. I whispered you. Tell me what they said. I want to think about it. It's important. It's normal the first time. From what I understand, I felt speedy. I felt zoned out. I was actually a little worried at first. I was a little worried because I thought, am I supposed to feel this weird? Is this normal? Is this what normal people feel like? It was weird. It is normal. I'm glad it's normal. It doesn't happen anymore. Yeah, you have to get used to it a little bit. She did say that maybe you should start with like 10 milligrams, but I started with 20. It was great. I love drugs. Maybe I need to take more drugs. I'm glad for me too. It sounds like anxiety, but yay, drugs working. I love drugs. Drugs are great. They keep us alive sometimes. They do. Yeah, they do. It was great. Congrats on drugs. Thank you so much. It's funny because they are so they are a controlled substance. So don't be suspicious about it, but they literally, before I could have the drugs, they had me confirm that I was not going to sell the drugs, which I think is very funny. Oh, that's whatever, Otter. That's whatever. Like, I've never even heard of that. Like me just bashing my head against that fight every time. Like, you think I'm paying attention? Nah, don't worry about it. Don't even worry about it. I had the opposite thing happen. I forgot my meds and went home and woke up today feeling like I was on drugs. Oh God. Is that what happens when you don't? Okay, I'm going to take breaks in the weekend. In the weekend, I'm not going to take them. Because apparently they can be addictive, and it's good to take breaks. And also you can get used to them. I don't want to get used to them. Because I wanted to use them for work. I wanted to specifically use them so I could start making videos again. Because y'all miss my videos, right? You're like, wow, I wish there was a Gen Z video. That's what you're thinking? I know. Me too. You should level out after a couple weeks. Good. Sound like it's working? It does. I have a check-in in like 2 weeks. Those are some effective drugs. I know. Thank you, Loneliest. Last year I got a major concussion mountain biking and ended up in the ER juiced up on drugs. I was laying there in the ER bed with IVs in both my arms and watching a Mario movie. You were having the best trip of your life. Is that what you're saying? Hi, Jean-Paul. Can it be? Could it be true? Alvaniel? Your vibes are immaculate. Exceptional vibes. Have exceptional vibes. Nice. We've seen Frog Wizard a few times recently. It's nice. It's nice to see Frog Wizard. Hi, Marshall. Hello. So much is happening today. What's happening today? A friend felt the same way on Vivance the first time. It's a great drug. We should all do drugs. In the game. Congrats on drugs winning the war on drugs. I'm glad they won. Do you have to give your driver's license? No, but when you pick them up, you do have to show them that you are who you say you are. Shit. Yeah, I've been so chill. Wow. Duke? Both of us, super chill. Incredibly chill. I didn't think about work all day yesterday. Even better. I wish the ones I tried didn't put debuffs on me. Oh, that's fair enough. I grinded for like 10 hours, so I'm about to body this bitch. No, I believe in you. You got it. I take 1 day a week off and I'm extra spacey that day. So my entire weekend, each time, I'm gonna just be super spacey. I love that. I do. Thank you. Same. More Gen Z videos. Okay. Too much your videos. I have 2 finished right now. One is Baldur's Gate 3. Another is a Witcher video. I actually already recorded the Witcher 3 in X minutes, but I might rewrite that one. I don't know. I'm happy with that one. I do miss your videos. It's nice to hear. Discovered you via videos years ago. I think most people discovered me via videos. I think not that many people discover me just through Twitch. Because it's hard to discover people through Twitch. It takes forever to type on mobile, doesn't it? Oh my god, mobile? Not even once. I called off work because my mind was like, good. It's time to vibe. It's time to chill. Honk. Not anymore. Lander, enjoy your sandwich. One of mine gives me a mega drowsy debuff. I think that's also partially why I don't want to take them every time. I've seen so many frogs. To which in particular are you referring? Oh, we have really loud frogs nearby. And there's, I think it's, what are they called? They play on their legs. What are they called again? Crickets? We have a lot of crickets. I did see Immaculate Vibe Frog Wizard. Immaculate Vibe Frog Wizard is always having the best day. I discovered you through Twitch. Did you though, Otter? Or did you discover me through Mumpow? Huh? Exactly. That's what I thought. That's the same thing. A lie. Why are you lying? I love crocodile also. Falcon, have a good crocodile. Tyndall, thank you so much for the gift sub. Otter, now you have to stay again. Oops. Oops all, Jinsey. Hi, yo, girls. Hello, good time zone. One of those rare Twitch pickups? Really? How did you find my channel? What made you want to click my channel under? Never knew you made videos until I met you. You found me through Taliesin and Evitel. Mumpow is Twitch. I think I found most people through Mumpow though. I think I mentioned this before. I found Mumpow through Wall. And Wall found me through Undertale. So actually, Undertale made me find most people. At the same time. It's my sister's birthday. Happy birthday. It's tax day. Ew. And also today is my dad's doctoral thesis defense. Oh god. Okay, I hope it goes well. I'm sure it'll go well. I'm sure he'll do fine. I guess I'll stay. Ugh, disgusting. We have captured Otter and they're never allowed to leave. It's true. He has to stay. It's the law. It was a raid. Who raided? Was it Taliesin and Evitel? I think a few people found me through Taliesin and Evitel. Because they're both perfect, actually. Did you know? I still need to play Undertale. I've stopped trying to recommend things as hard as I sometimes do, because I feel like if I overhype things, people will just get disappointed. You know what I mean? I'll be like, oh, I love Undertale. It's one of the best games I ever played. I had such a good time. Oh my god, you should absolutely play it. And then they play it and it's like, yeah, it was alright, I guess. And I'm over here. Well. So I'm just gonna say, I think Undertale's worth playing. Enjoy. Presumably. An Aussie MMO streamer picked you and I had a good intuition to stick around. Really? An Aussie MMO streamer? Do I know any Aussie? I know one Aussie streamer. I know a singular Aussie streamer specifically. Yeah, we'll drink to that. Cheers. Ew. It's such a vibe, right? Otter, me telling you to play Or in the Blind Forest. How's your voice feeling today? Would it be okay if I did a story time? You can do a story time. Yeah, I even got my books here. It's her birthday. Oh, make time. Undertale's amazing. Just do not stream it. Was it Mumpow? Yeah, Mumpow streamed it recently. Mumpow streamed it very recently. Well, not very well, recently-ish. And it was fine. It was fine. It was very chill. I think the Undertale community might have moved on. Maybe to Deltarune, potentially. But they seem like they've moved on. Play Graveyard Keeper. Flamer? Flamer, please. Flamer, how did you find me? How did you find me, sir? This is so important. I found Jinsey trying to figure out what Gontor Dim was. About 20 YouTube videos later, I came over here doing a SWTOR stream. SWTOR was fun. I want to catch up on SWTOR story again. I probably should blame Gwent for landing here. Gwent is great. You should all play Thronebreaker. I'm not going to hype it up further. I think you should play it. I came in via videos but lurked for ages. I think most people will lurk in a stream for ages first. I lurk in streams first. Danny, which one? Oh my god. My gird. Look at her, my Berks. Which one would you like to hear? Nordic Tales, Celtic Tales, or Tales of Japan? Recently, 3,000 years ago. Oh, it's been 60. You've been here for 65 months. Are you okay? My recommendations to others go great. The other half have no idea why I recommend them. If I really love a game, I said this in Mumpow's stream recently. If I really love a game and I didn't pay too much for it, I usually just give it to friends as gifts. You should play it. Just have PTSD from having to ban 5 people per stream when I did it. That is a lot. Mumpow never gets weirdos. That's why they're upset about it. They want the weirdos. They would like weirdos. They're very happy to get weirdos. It's funny because Noob has been getting a lot of weirdos recently. He's been getting, I don't know what it is, but people keep being weird in his stream. Like, I've banned so many people just from hanging out in Noob's stream and then going over to my own stream and saying, I never want to see your face in my stream. Thank you, Marshall. You're delightful also. You played Gwen with Ash as well. I did! Is that how you found me? I still have that clip. Where did I put it? Is it on this? Wait. Oh, I can't plug it in right now. Shites. Okay, I have a clip. It's funny. With Ash. I was playing Gwent with Ash and I was absolutely destroying the opponents. It was great. We were horrible. Are you into tractor cosplay? Yeah. I mean, I will support, obviously. I also came during SWOTOR. I did play SWOTOR for a good long while. Were you there for that? I was. Otter, were you? Were you, Otter? I bought Thronebreaker years ago, but I think I've only played like an hour of it. I really liked Thronebreaker. It was a very enjoyable single-player experience. We've been here the same amount of time. Wow, did you come in at the same time? I didn't enjoy Thronebreaker. I still play Gwent. It is definitely different from multiplayer Gwent. A good bit. Evitel is really pretty. Yes, she's also really smart and extremely cool. And talented. Oh wait, I wasn't supposed to say talented anymore. Skilled. Skilled, also. And a badass. Yo. The way she delivered her second child, holy shit. Incredible. Guy came in asking if they drink milk and constantly talking about milk and farming and tractors and cosplay. Yeah, but they would support, though. They would support. Oh, same. I blame Poppy Playtime. Yeah, Poppy Playtime had a lot of them, but the one yesterday... No, not yesterday. Saturday? That one as well. Remember mods being on Red Alert and Undertale streams? Yeah, I'm kind of glad I did it as a Let's Play because it was much harder to backseat because I uploaded everything at once. I'm guessing you don't have anything Greek. I don't. But wait, hold on. Give me 1 second. I'll be right back. Okay, wait. I'm gonna listen. I do own Bullfinch's Mythology. I actually haven't read it in its entirety yet. It's very pretty. Do you want to see it? Look. Isn't it pretty? Look at it has like gold pages and whatever. I realized we've been half an hour in, I still have not played the game. It's fine. I found Jinsey from Witcher Facts when I followed before running away because anxiety. Came back because Jinsey was playing Persona. And everyone seemed chill and started talking in chat by talking about how much of a creep Teddy was. Yo, Teddy was such a creep though. Teddy? Not even once. I preemptively ban people when I see them act a fool elsewhere too. I honestly, for my own sanity, constantly. Hi Zelda! Did you fix your technical difficulties? Because I know the stream died. It sucks when that happens. Come back. That's how I found you. Yes, ages ago. Love Ash. Still. Yo, she's doing so well now. I'm incredibly proud of her. Even though, like, we do not stream the same shit anymore. So proud of her. Must have been something Witcher related for me as well. Probably. I mean, 90% of what I do is Witcher, I feel like. I have a few more Witcher videos like that I'm already working on. I have a problem. Also, hi. Wish I had a more definitive story than random stranger raided into you. I don't know. That's a pretty good story, I think. Just surprised you haven't banned me yet. There's still time. Give yourself time. Talented and skilled. I try not to say talented because whenever I say talented, it makes it feel like they didn't do anything themselves. Where did I put it here? Did I put it here? I have like a creepy, I downloaded a creepy, you know? I downloaded creepy If it happens a lot here, I will say something along the lines of, if you are not 18 years of age, please leave my chat. But also, if you behave childishly, I will also ban you. So if you're emote spamming, I will ban you, because generally it's just children who do that. Or if they keep repeating the same thing, like that, the person that I banned on the Cult of the Lamb stream for Noob recently was this person. That was the one I clicked and I was like, okay, you're a child. They kept going, oh, you're the best. Your entire chat's the best. Haha, you're the best streamer. You're the best. Can you get a new follower so I can join your cult? You're the best. Let me join your cult. You're the best. like nonstop. It was weird. I banned them immediately. Noob likes to give them a little bit of a chance still, so I think he timed them out the first time and was like, no, absolutely not. I do not have the time. I do not have the time. When I was a kid, I was just so scared of horror games. A lot of people still only watch them. They don't want to play them. I totally get it. Some games, they're just not it. Was it the same one I got timed out by Noob on Friday that wanted to be in the cult so badly? That one, Xiash, yeah, that one. I swear there is a bunch of streamers who were in the chat at the time who all went to their own chat to ban that person. Like an hour later, yeah, for me it was immediate. I love when kids think they're being slick, like, bitch, we see you. Yeah, we kind of know how they talk. That's the thing. Mascot horror draws into children. It does. It does. It really does. I know exactly who you mean. Yeah, I know. You banned them later. I think I'm more ban happy than most. I really am pretty ban happy. Not that kind of chatter. They're the worst. I banned as well. Yeah, that's what I thought. How about that time a random person came in and started by asking if you had a boyfriend? If you open the chat by calling me some kind of pet name, ban. If you open the chat by saying, you're so hot, ban. If you open the chat by saying, hey, are you single? Ban. If you open the chat and ask me where I live, ban. I ban immediately in a lot of cases. I don't have the time. Right to jail. Right to jail. Hi, Corton. Hello. I think Carrie and I banned at the same time. As you should. Double whammy. It's cool to be cheerful, but there's a point where it's, yeah. Yeah, and I think at that point, it's not even cheerful. It's just spamming. At someone like that a year ago, and I was like, hey, you're exhausting AF. Please stop. Yeah, people always say this, or they'll ask me if I'm mad at them or something. If I'm mad at you, I will just ban you. I used to not, but now, if I'm sick of you, I will just ban you. Genuinely. Hey, streamer, pay attention to me. Ugh. Not even once. I do have to say that I say you're all the best, but I've been here long enough and understood. See, Dino, I know you. I know you. And I know you mean it, and I know you're sweet, and I love you to death. But if you come in here and you're just immediately like, ooh, like, I guess love bombing? Like, oh, right to jail. Right to jail. I'm a mod in another chat, and apparently I got 2 ban happy thanks to you guys' influence. I know that I ban faster than most. I know that, but I've been so much happier since I did. Because I didn't use What if I ask if Nick is single? That's valid. I would ask too. Do you have a boyfriend? No, I do have a husband though. Yeah. If you open with, how are you? Ban! Right to jail. Does that mean we can ask where you live because you've been here in a while? Canada. That's all you're getting. That's all you're getting. What's up, bitch? Some kids was in chat. I modded being weird and saying the same thing over and over. I banned them. The streamer was like, no, it's okay. It's just a kid. No, that's not okay. It's just a kid. That's exactly why it's not okay. Oh, I would not want to ban for, or I would not want to mod for somebody like that. I would not. And it's interesting because I used to mod for somebody like that. If you mod for somebody and they're constantly questioning your timeouts or your bans like every single turn, like generally if I see someone got banned, I don't even ask why, unless I'm like really curious. But yeah, if I saw something and I was like, oh, it's kind of on the line, maybe I'll mention it afterwards. But it's I don't want kids in my chat, and I'd rather ban than not ban if it's on the edge. Does that make sense? I feel like I'm just like actively trying not to become a big streamer. I'm okay with that, I think. Do you stream daily? Do you need emotes? Oh, I am a graphic designer. If you got banned somewhere else, ban. That's right, ban. Sometimes, yeah. That sends the blue check on Twitter is quite helpful. Lets me auto-ban a huge portion of twats automatically. I just straight up do not go on Twitter anymore. I opened a Twitter recently to read something. Like somebody posted a tweet in Discord and I was like, okay, let me read that. I opened my comments or my notifications or whatever. And one of them was a comment, a response to my wedding picture from years ago. Years and years and years ago. planting, the farmer was obliged to sow the seeds and the toiling ox to draw the plough. Next came the brazen age, more savage of temper and readier to the strife of arms, yet not altogether wicked. The hardest and worst was the iron age. Crime burst in like a flood, modesty, truth, and honour fled. In their places came fraud and cunning, violence, and the wicked love of gain. Then seamen spread sails to the wind, and the trees were torn from the mountains to serve for keels to ships and vex the face of the ocean. The earth, which till now had been cultivated in common, began to be divided off into possessions. Men were not satisfied with what the surface produced, but must dig into its bowels and draw forth from thence the ores of metals. Mischievous iron and more mischievous gold were produced. War sprang up, using both as weapons. The guest was not safe in his friend's house, and sons-in-law and fathers-in-law, brothers and sisters, husbands and wives could not trust one another. Sons wished their fathers dead, that they might come to the inheritance. Family love lay prostrate. The earth was wet with slaughter, and the gods abandoned it, one by one, till Astraea alone was left, and finally she also took her departure. Jupiter, seeing this state of things, burned with anger. He summoned the gods to council. They obeyed the call and took the road to the palace of heaven. The place of heaven? God. The road, which anyone may see in a clear night, stretches across the face of the sky and is called the Milky Way. Along the road stand the palaces of the illustrious gods, Okay, hi. Sorry, I had to refill swear right now, we're gonna finish it today, so we have to be diligent. We are pretty far into the game. If you do not want spoilers for Plaguey Tale, the Tale of Plagues, leave now or forever hold your peace. I can keep distracting you if you'd like. No, because I'm gonna finish the game today. Look at us go! Look at us finishing the game today.
Amicia, I don't want to.
You must.
But we have to.
Yes.
We have to.
Oh, it looks kind of gross immediately. Sorry about that. You seem to... The bitch. The hell?
Oh. It looks bad.
Why would you say that?
It feels like a cathedral.
Yeah, because it literally is.
So, he's down there?
Is he a
Yes.
corpse?
At the heart of all this. It looks like what the last threshold would do.
Can I open this door? No.
Aelia failed to reach him, and this is what happened. But what? What happened?
I don't know.
What happened to him?
That's what we're gonna find out.
You have to. He brought you here. It's your legacy.
The whole point is
I
that
want
we're here to try to
legacy.
figure it out.
I want to be normal.
Why can't you just be normal? I still want a mother that turns all the rats into hamsters and coolies that leader murdering everything. Just assume that the child is actually Coolsty. Maybe at some point I get to finish this game, and with that, I mean start the first one. I don't know, I think it's worth one playthrough. Partial to Norse mythology, mostly because I'm descendant of the Vikings. So, ask Stanch about that. Stanch knows a lot about Vikings. If you have any
Before we get things back to
Viking-y
normal,
questions.
you must live.
You want that, but I keep ruining things.
Yeah!
Don't do it on purpose.
You should still die.
You're a child.
There were children in the right city too.
It's tough, Hugo. We don't know each other very well, but I know you deserve a second chance. Even if we have to find it in hell.
Does he though? Like, Hugo is so right. Hugo is so correct though. Like, Hugo is constantly been saying, me being alive kills other children.
How to...
Why am I more worthy to live than other children?
We're close.
Hugo, you're so
If he's
correct.
down there, so is what could save you.
What's the point? If I keep ruining everything.
You're great, Hugo. I like
Stop.
you now.
You have to trust
No,
me.
Hugo is so right. Hugo is so right. You never actually had something so interesting unintentionally grow? Like this, like the gigantic mushroom? I kind of want to see the picture now. I don't think I saw it. If one child being alive kills 20 extra children extra, I think that's the good reason for Jinsey Flamer for that one kid to live. Okay, like, listen, okay. I don't like kids. I don't want any. I don't want them around me. But I'm actually not a child murderer, as much as I make jokes about it. I'm actually, like, children may live. They may live. Just don't do it near me.
I can't. Amicia.
Do it anywhere else.
Sweetheart, please, I know.
No, you don't. Why are you doing this?
See?
Amicia, come, I'll carry you. We'll do this together. This is too much.
Yeah, she's right. She's so right.
I'm sorry you have to go through this. I do it for you.
I want rest.
You'll have it.
Children
You
may
must
live.
live first.
Okay, listen.
I need you.
I'm scared of myself.
In the game.
You will live. We will fight. We will hold.
See, I just feel Amicia is so stubborn. I feel bad for Hugo.
Come
But
on.
she's so stubborn.
Come.
He said, just throw me off a cliff. Why won't you just throw me off a cliff? I'm so mad about it. And he's so right. He has a good point. Why won't they listen to him? I will, bitch. They chained him up because of course they did. Of course they chained him up. That's what they wanted to do to Hugo as well. Why not just kill him at that point?
Is that
Serious question.
the carrier?
Why not just kill him instead?
They
Is it
imprisoned him.
is it because they wanted to still experiment on him?
But why?
Yeah. Thank
They
you.
were scared of him, of his power. This is why they built all this.
Just
They were
let him
always
die.
afraid. They left a child to die.
Yeah, but slowly.
He unleashed the rats. They tore through their walls. They couldn't stop them.
Obviously.
It started here. What? The Justinian plague.
He was sad. So sad and angry.
I'd be sad and angry too if I was chained in the
So
middle
that's
of
why
Rat
the Macula
Central.
brought us here?
Yeah.
There has to be something. A scroll? A file? Something.
No.
I see nothing. Aya. She failed.
I'm addressing the rats. Hi, Ice. Seems like a weird way to kill a child, right?
Amicia.
Weird.
Failed, Sophia. I know.
So fair.
Is he coming
When
alive?
I die,
Oh, he's
you
getting
won't
getting
die.
mad.
I will also kill them.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, I will pause for that. It's in the middle of a cutscene. This poor child. I know more about the Bronze Age than the late Irons. But you want a piece of bread? Was it bitter bread? But everyone apart from people from the Faroe Islands and Iceland stating that they are descendants of Vikings forget the fact that the Norse intermingled with many cultures, brought people from different places and cultures to the north. They are not a homogeneous people, as the place I live in is literally called Small Lands. And even during the 700s, 1100s, people settled here from all around Western, Central, and Eastern Europe. Yeah, so are you saying it was way more of a melting pot than people thought, than people gave it credit for? Yeah, just let him die, exactly. The child would become a weapon to suppress Metal Gear. I haven't played Metal Gear, but I know the meme. We also had the large influx of Germans during the Middle Ages. Oh god, it's the Germans again. It's the Germans again. Game logic? I feel like they need to explain this. At least you have morals about who you won't kill in games. I do. I think about it. I feel like there are way easier methods to kill him, and also quicker. And like, the plague still started? So what was the point? Yeah, Ice is already home, right? Am I wrong? No. Ice, you're already home, right? They had a massive pit right there. And yet... seems like they were going to, but they wanted to study him first, and then he killed him with rats. Who killed them with rats? I feel like they're alchemists, right? If they're alchemists, see, they're clearly already really cruel people, because they are literally imprisoning a child. Why not sedate him forever? Because when he's awake, he's clearly able to call rats. So then why didn't they do that? Hi, Mike! Mike, do you know what kind of entrance alert you want yet? Or do you still want to think about it? Because you have one. What about the people he murdered? What murder? Jeff, hi! 79, that's 10 better than 69. It's like an advanced technique, I think. It's nicer. Yo, we're on 84 out of 300 for plus eligibility. I'm gonna look where we end up. We're almost at the 100. I'm gonna look where we end up. I'm very curious. Yeah, you're home. Iceland is very genetically Irish. Oh, you're the Irish. I see. No Germains? Though lots of them, apparently. Everyone would speak German nowadays if the Austrian with the funny moustache didn't try to raid Russia during winter. Oops. It's interesting to me that the reference the Justinian plague, that is Byzantium Empire. They mentioned the Byzantium Empire too. So yeah, that it's this entire... So the previous carrier took place during the Byzantium Empire. Because they mention it when they find the map. They uncover it and they say, wow, this is really old. This is like Byzantium Empire old. So the kid, Basilicum? Basilius, that's his name. Basilius and Aelia, they were Byzantium Empire. Norse was one of the largest melting pots during the Viking Age. We're all in this together. Hey, Jeff. We have some Irish names and some Irish words. I really like Irish. I really like the language. Forgot about it. I'll think about something. Okay. I feel like I just don't mention it enough. But if you are a tier 3 sub, you get an entrance alert. So just think of whatever you want, and I'll add it. The Austrians maybe kind of started to what? Oops. Happens to the best of us. Presumably. Will be called the Ester-Roman Empire? I can't tell if it's a joke or not. Sounds like a bacterium. I thought it sounded like a herb first. Okay, we
Hugo.
continue.
He wasn't meant to die. When they took him from his protector, he lost hope. So he gave in to the macula and condemned them all.
He was kind of right for that.
was right.
Yeah, thank you!
But if one word from her had reached him, he would have known he wasn't alone.
Yeah, but he would still be chained up right here.
And spared millions. Do you understand? You won't die. I'm here for you. And I will give you the life you deserve. A life without fight. Do you want that?
Oh my god, Andrew, that's true.
Home. I don't think they agree. What's going on? We must go.
Uh-oh, all rats. Oh, shit.
Quick, quick! Move!
Yes. What did you expect?
You want me to leave?
They'll get nothing. Save your breath. Stay with me.
Yeah, I was gonna say, maybe just like run instead of talk.
Oh, no! Up! Sophia! On your left! The broken door!
But there's rats. Oh,
Yeah, come on, Hugo!
oop. What?
Everything's going to collapse!
Wow, did we find what we were looking for, you think?
No, just run!
Yeah, just ignore the copious amounts of rats. It's fine. I'm sure they'll ignore us too, and nothing bad will happen.
They're on our heels!
They're not just on our heels. They're in your head. Flashy sacker rats? Oh my god. Wait, actually, wait, oh, we can actually run there. Whoops. I think it's going well. They're not even listening.
Hugo! Breathe! Keep running!
Sophia! Sophia!
I'm right here!
Yeah, I was gonna say, she's faster than you are. Don't worry about her.
No!
Only Easter bunnies? Easter bunny emperor?
So many!
Sorry, people are dying to rats and we're making jokes about Easter bunnies.
Yes, finally!
It's falling! Amicia!
You think so? What gave it away? Was it all the falling?
Prison! Go to hell!
They've been kind of helpful before.
I'll push you up, keep going!
Oh, never mind, Ice. Give back the Irish stuff, please.
Yes! It's the outside!
No!
No, it is. It is the outside. Don't worry about it. It's gonna be fine.
To hell with these bastards! We're getting out!
Use your adrenaline! Oh, okay, it's the outside, but it's not light. They can still burst through walls, I'm pretty sure.
Tell me they're sealed inside.
I don't think they are.
I think we're fine. Anyone hurt? Hugo?
It was horrible.
I know!
Yes. I'm sorry you had to see that. The macula lured you in.
Actually, it lured you in.
Really has a way with
It lured you in. Hugo didn't want to
It was
go.
on him.
Hugo didn't want to go.
But you'll live. That's what's most important.
Is it?
Not
Thank you!
I'm scared to
Oh
see
god,
people
I
like
just
that.
find myself agreeing with Hugo
That's what can make
constantly.
me do.
You're right. Listen,
Bitch.
there will always be people
Shut up,
who do
bitch.
terrible things.
Yeah, like us.
That's how the world is.
Right now it's
But you
us.
have to trust in your own goodness and goodness of others. People who care, who want you to be happy. Friends. Like me.
Please don't eat me, Rat
Friends
King.
make you want to be good, right? If you doubt it, I understand. But you can trust me. You can trust us.
Sometimes. Depends.
I
Occasionally.
trust you.
Oh, you shouldn't.
We'll
Jinsey
find
is just a
place
tiny
of our
French
own.
boy. I am.
Let's leave this island.
I
We have
am.
a boat to catch
Oh, ho, ho.
and a sea of rats to cross first.
I did have baguette with
They
my
won't
food
stop us.
yesterday.
Everything is different.
Coincidence? I think not. The Danish stole our stuff plus the little Irish stuff we stole. God. Eyes, people keep stealing. This is not correct. The life we deserve. Are they going to mention rating? It's only a bad thing when we aren't the ones doing it. Exactly. When it's other people doing bad things, that's bad. We're good, actually. We did get ginseng croissant and wine. Yo, I
Things are not
was
getting
considering getting a giant case of croissants at Costco.
Although it seems
on
they figured the
Saturday.
critters out already.
I did.
Others
Tallest
did
tiny
before and
French
died
boy.
anyway. It's too late. We must go.
Very good looking tiny French boy too.
It's not just about this island anymore, Hugo.
Where are
We
the
need
count
to
and
leave or we'll
countess?
doom everything.
What about the count and countess? Did they get eaten? Because we haven't seen them anymore. What happened to them? Should be able to manifest their own at this point. I'm not powerful enough. My dad got a call from someone who had found him, my uncle and my aunt, through some distant relatives. When I got to see those papers over who were related to the guy had written down the following people. Godwulf of Troy, a fictional character. Ragnar Lodbrok, Bjorn Ironside, Rollo, and Odin and Freya. So I told him to ignore everything up until the 1200s, and then we could discuss, but also disclose. I was gonna say, even I know that that's a little bit of an odd list, and I'm not even a specialist. I don't even know these things. The hell's that? He just had so much hope. And to yesterday for brekkie with plum jam. Yo, I love croissant though. You want a croissant? I would like to get a little croissant. Every Sunday. Croissant. I love croissant. It goes with everything. I have boursin. I could have my baguette in my croissant with a little boursin. I really could be a tiny French boy at this point. Not going to rant anymore? Oh, it's interesting. I think it's interesting to hear about these things. Have you good foods? My project is projecting. However, what earlier took 10 seconds for a full run, I took 30 seconds for 1%. Uh-oh. Absolutely, absolutely. All I eat is bread. I love breads. Bread is a vibe. Oh, please be bread snake. It'd be so on point if it was bread snake. We're related to Sweden's first king for some reason. Are you? Okay, I'm gonna assume he's dancing because he just had bread. I would have laughed if that was bread snake. I know. He had a lot of bread. Croissant with Nutella and blueberries. Delicious. You can't go wrong. At Costco, you can get, so we have a deep freezer now, like the big chest freezers. So we can order the big freezer boxes. One of them is croissant. Croissant, like 100 something croissant. It's great.
He's dead.
Well, lots of people are. Who are you talking about? Oh, okay. Well, yes. Yes.
No choice. Sorry.
Are you
Yes.
sorry?
Sorry.
Come, we'll cross.
I don't think he is sorry. Hi, Kaminari. Hello.
Good. Now we do things safe and slow. No taking stupid risks. Hugo, if you feel funny, tell us right away.
I will.
Can't wait to leave this rock.
Are you feeling funny? Not anymore.
All right, the harbor. Come.
Wait, there's a guy there.
Hey, my lady!
What
Wait,
is it
do they
now?
not know about the rats?
You're the Countess's guests, aren't you? Are you hurt?
They do know about the rats.
No.
We have orders to escort you safely to the palace.
Actually,
Uh-oh.
we were about to leave.
You have guests.
Guests? Who?
Your mother.
Oh no!
Do you think she's going to scold
Oh
us?
no. Oh, this is
I
going to
don't
go
know.
terribly wrong, isn't it?
We should go see her. It's been a long
This
time.
is really going to go terribly wrong.
Yes. We can't
He's
run away
going to
from this, I guess.
explode rats everywhere.
Look at the two of you. Only a mum can have such power over someone.
Is she going to be okay?
All right. You know
Yes, I was going to
what?
say.
I'll head to the harbor.
Please
and
prepare the boat.
You join me as
Who
soon as you
isn't
can.
that? Good question, Gilix.
Take this.
We're heading into winter and I'm ready
Whatever
for it.
happens, keep
Wait,
this
oh,
flame
yes.
alive, all right?
Australia.
Yes. Be careful.
Don't worry. I've learned from both of you.
Oh, you also have a slingshot now? Okay. Yeah,
Lead
no
the way,
thank
then.
you. Respectfully decline. Apparently we don't. Not mother.
What
We
will
are
tell her?
so screwed.
The truth. We found what we came for.
Aw, rips down.
And I'm the one to blame.
I'll defend
Well, still.
you.
My hero.
Hurry!
I would like to hear the horror story at some point. You ever just explode rats everywhere? We're gonna. Also watch Dune. Oh, I love Dune 2. I'm glad you liked it. I really enjoyed
Is
it.
the palace going to hold, sir?
For now,
Ooh.
the Count opened the gates to the people, but there's so many dead and wounded.
I
Seen
know!
that?
It's not my fault. I had nothing to do with it. See, I'm chill. Whee! It can't have been us. Oops.
Careful! Stay back!
It's like the one we saw. The broken one.
Shh. Yes. Where did they get it?
They
You're
probably
safe
knew
as
it was
long as
gonna
you stay inside this
happen.
line. But outside, without light.
Yes. We know.
Anyway,
How do you
you're safe
know?
now.
It's not that long. I'm interested. I like horror stories.
Are you
more like
not
free
planning
air
to
conditioning.
evacuate?
Not yet.
Fair enough.
Not until we've got everybody regrouped.
Okay, but that's kind of nice of them, even though this is clearly very much a cult, right? Yo, the weather has been so nice here.
Hold the line!
I've been going for nice
We need
little
more
walks.
fires on the main road!
I love going
Pick
for
up the
nice little
pace.
walks.
Keep these flames fed.
Even help here?
You know, like
Looks
these.
like a war.
Come give me a hand with this!
We're at war with the rats.
We need torches there!
They should evacuate.
Yes. No one can win against them.
Stays here, lady. We'll need it to carry the wounded.
Clear the way!
My belongings?
You can bring them inside.
All right, I understand.
See, everyone is still so nice here. Everyone is still just nice in general. And I feel kind of bad, but also I kind of know that they're
Fill them with tar.
cults.
Keep them burning. Any breach could
They're
make the
just
place
as
fall.
weird.
And if the rats enter
They're
the
just a
palace,
different kind of evil.
Keep them burning.
You know?
This is all in vain.
Oh, you're new,
Just
Marshall?
tell them to leave
Welcome
me,
to the
They
stream.
won't listen.
Incredible.
Let's find
I
Mother.
feel I have good vibes about you.
Have you fixed the piston yet? We need this cart on the rampart.
Yeah, they brought a
fast.
tiny bomb inside. It's me, a small French boy.
This thing's so old it might just explode.
And is it gonna? Is it gonna? No,
We've
my
got wounded
Richie.
up here.
It's
not pretty.
it should be per person.
Child may want to look away.
Should
I know
be.
blood.
Still, try not to look.
Yeah, I think there's maybe like 3 rats in his game. Don't worry. Only
There are
3.
more.
My arms! It's burning!
Well, turn it off.
Heavens, been bitten.
Yes. It will soon spread.
They are plagued. As you can tell, we are taking their sickness very seriously.
It's over. Let him go.
Okay, I am gonna mute them here. I feel important things incoming.
The child is supposed to lead us to brighter days, not this carnage.
Quiet.
Sorry.
This is not the time to argue.
It was me.
Children.
Oop. It's sunny but super windy here. Oh, it was super windy before. Like, so windy we literally just, like, doors clapped open.
For this food.
It's not much, but we have to mind our supplies.
Let's pray this nightmare ends soon.
It will not.
My fault.
Yes, it is. No, it is though. He's right. Church music, you know it's going to be important, right? Especially when the music swells.
senses. You must
And we're
not be
RP
safe.
walking.
Are the rats really announcing his coming?
Through there.
Why is he killing us?
safe.
Still
too.
your hearts. Pray to him. Just pray.
The child just likes murder. What can I say? This will be good for not upsetting the child. I'm sure the order will be kind to him also, and nothing bad will happen.
My God, you're alive.
Oops.
Mother, come here. Please, come here.
Mother,
How are you?
Oh, everything is
Your
awful.
head.
it's fine. Don't worry. How did you find us?
You left quite a trail behind you.
Of murder? Oh, yeah, I
But
did
tell
do
me,
that.
Is it the one? This island?
The one from your dream.
There was another carrier, like me.
Another carrier.
Yeah, he's
Yes.
super dead.
Back in the 6th century.
Yeah, he's not doing great.
A child
That's my
called
mom,
Basilius.
yeah.
We found him.
Hi,
chained
Marcus.
In an order prison
Hello.
designed especially for him.
What?
Yeah.
They panicked when he reached his last threshold.
Isn't it weird? It's a little
They
weird.
took him away from his protector. Locked him in there to contain what would happen next.
A new plague. In the 6th century, that's...
The Justinian plague. We knew it was connected to the macula, but... So it started here, with this Basilius.
But it was not his fault. He was just all alone and scared.
Yes. Mother, Magister Vaudin said Hugo is condemned. But this is what the Order believes.
Yeah, and they're really dumb.
Based on their mistake in the past with Basilius.
We should probably
if
not.
He'd had his protector, like Hugo has us, I'm almost sure nothing would have happened. Think about it. During the last months on the road, the times when it was quiet, everything was just fine. He was fine.
That's true.
Something tells me that if we settle down somewhere safe and live there as a family,
Maybe the plague would stop with time.
it would stop getting worse.
Fear really clouded our minds, didn't it? Except yours, Protector.
No, she's just really
Yes.
stubborn.
Remember that house we have in the mountains? We'll be great there.
We'll be big and tall.
Sorry to interrupt. The Count wants to see you.
Me? Now? But we were about to leave.
He is the Count of Provence, my lady.
Yes. We'll wait for you. For now, we're safer here than outside anyway.
Fine. Take me to him.
Bad things will happen. Let's go away from people and live quietly. I know, after the first plague, it wasn't enough. Your mom and your brother looked like a taller version of you and your other
Follow
brother.
me.
So Lucas is not related, I don't think.
Do you know what the Count wants with me?
No.
I thought he would
no.
be attending to more urgent matters.
Seeing you must be an urgent matter. Act
Uh-oh.
with dignity in his presence. These are dark times. He's touched, like any of us.
All right. I will.
The Count right now, I know.
For now, but the western rampart is still weak. If the rats enter through there, we won't be able to evacuate the wound.
They probably want to take our ship or
I want
something.
to know where those rats come from. Send scouts. If we can find a way to slow them, stop them, or send them to hell, it'll be worth
I swear
the
that's what it
risk.
is. They want our ship.
Sire, she's here.
Good. This is a war unlike any other. But it is still a war. Dismissed. And have faith.
After all the
It's
rats
not over yet.
came out of the walls? You have to have faith? I don't know about that.
Come. I need you.
I know, loneliest. You'd think maybe bring the kid too. Slingshot him in the face. I don't think I can take my sling out. Puberty's gonna be a real bad time. Uh-oh.
So you survived those beasts.
Hormones.
Barely. I'm sorry for your land.
A lord should know that no peace lasts forever. But I confess that after years of war, I had dared to hope that this one would.
I understand. The scars are still so vivid. They fill the mind when you want only rest. Sorry,
No. That's exactly it.
It's only human. I think.
You're right. But it doesn't stop you from being there when battle calls.
Yes.
Are you gonna make me fight rats? Well,
Is the child really coming?
All the signs are here.
You mean the rats?
Not only the rats. Come. You'll see for yourself.
Yes.
oh, I feel very upset about everything right now. Is Arnaud here? Because we haven't seen him in a while. I feel like we're gonna see him again. Do I have to go through the? Oh my god! Uh-oh. Yep. Am I? Does he know I'm the protector? Is that what it is?
Emily wants the boy, Amicia.
There it is.
I'm sorry, but she is sure now.
Sure about what?
That your brother is the child of Embers. She must have him, so you must die.
I knew this was gonna get fucky real quick.
Completely wrong about this. Your cult, everything.
You're probably right. Because I invented most.
You shit.
And I did it for her.
You are so weird for that.
Her bloody parents broke her mind until she tried to take her own life. Poisoned her own body. So I brought her here, offered her this child of Ember's story, and not only did she believe it, she turned it into hope for the people.
Oh, you're both idiots!
What are you trying to do? Accept your fate?
What a weird thing to say! Accept your fate? Just die. What did he go? Oh no, and now I can't use my sling arm. How dare you want to live? How dare you try to survive?
Lose her. Not for you.
Go to hell.
Where are you going?
You won't have him.
Oh shit, they didn't even show me. Dang.
Quick.
You can't imagine.
Are you telling me or yourself?
Go to hell, you bastard.
There's a person there. Oh, wow. Jesus, you are strong.
No, you won't get it.
You are very strong, lady. Damn.
And you will die like a dog.
What did I... Oh, you know, just a little bit of murder.
Get out of here. Who are you?
Oh my god. There's this guy again.
Behind that tractor. Shut up.
Everybody out.
Wow.
You and me.
How do I keep out of sight right now? Like, where? Where? How do I... What do you mean keep out of sight? Like, what? To where? She told me where I was.
Where is she?
Behind that tractor. Shut up.
I guess I immediately... Okay, well, you already saw me, I'm pretty sure. Oh, wow. That... I'm sure he has no idea where I am.
I know it seems unfair, but you don't know what it takes to rule. War. It's so easy. I could destroy everything. But she showed me another way.
I got really horny.
You've seen it. Amicia, you are so noisy. You won't escape like this.
Your face is noisy.
Hey! What's going on?
Nothing.
No! You're trespassing!
Your face is trespassing. I hate everyone. Everyone here sucks.
There is no escape.
I'm gonna throw rats at you.
Touch them.
It's too late. Now she knows he exists.
Bastard. Bastard.
The rats are just gonna eat you. Like, you realize, right? Like, the rats are gonna eat your wife. Just tell him. Tell him, by the way, the rats are gonna eat your wife.
Stay away from me.
Do you want the rats to eat your wife?
This is bigger than you. Give up. Surrender your brother. We can do this the easy way.
Oh my god, just tell him! Just tell him about the rats! Oh my, he's... Okay, just don't, I guess don't tell him. Don't tell him about the rats. Die, I guess, eventually. Feels like a good time for fire, doesn't it? Hi, Skull. Hello. Here, let me actually turn on the alerts again. You can vibe check again. Don't worry. Shut the fuck up, Narc, right? The Catholic Church would not burn this island for the heresy. Apparently, they brought that up. They did bring that up, and they were like, well, apparently, if you're a duke, you can get away with some things, and maybe, like, if you have a lot of money. Now, after he was sus, incredibly, and him just not saying anything? Excuse me, buddy, dang, we're in danger. Guy has Radovid vibes. Yo! But that, though, that's... It's so true, though. Touches? Wow. Am I the only one who thinks it's a hell of a burden on the family to make sure the kid never experiences fear and stress for the rest of his life, or thousands of people will die? The kid, yeah, the kid literally said, no, you should just, like, let me die. Why aren't you just letting me die? This is so weird. Just let me die. Can't wait for half of Europe to die when he's angry because he only got 3 portions of food. Oh my god. Yeah, it probably will happen. Did they ever think to raise an army of cats to fight the swarm of rats? I think they're magical rats. They seem like magical rats-ish. She might be able to tie with Danvers. No, Danvers would still, like, solo her. If they're so keen on embers, I'm sure we can burn everything here. Yo, that would keep the rats away, too. Double whammy. That was bullshit. Yes. Samuel Varianius Sederstierna was a bishop in Vuxu. I probably mispronounced every single word. His son Johann was in Poland and fought in the Battle of Thorn during the Great Northern Wars and died there. When Samuel got the letter of his demise, he had a stroke and skendog, or died on the spot, so they decided that they were going to bury him the next day and put him in a coffin. The same night, the church warden was doing his rounds and heard a fierce ruckus. He was too scared to enter the church since it could be devilry or a ghost. So the next day he entered the church with some other people and found the coffin open with Samuel on the floor dead. When he went up to the coffin, they could see the lid had scratches as if someone wanted to get out, and when they looked at Samuel's hands, they could see he had blood on them. So he had woken up from the dead and crawled on the floor to finally die again. Most likely he went into shock and woke up and died again. Yeah, oh my god, Stanch! That's why they added those bells to graveyards. Because they were never sure if he was really dead or not. Oh, that's a terrifying death, though. That's a terrifying death. Sheesh! Well, Samuel certainly wasn't. Thank you for the story, Stange. Don't remember it 100% exactly. Yeah, I feel like that happened. Unfortunately, happened a lot. And who is he? Radovid is a Witcher character. And he is, in The Witcher 3, he is Radovid the Mad. He looks kind of like this Count, and he likes to burn witches. And other things. Also non-humans. Rich people with a lot of money doing shady stuff? Never heard of that before. It never happens. Listen, Danvers could Vulcan. I'm saying. I wish Danvers would solo me. Don't we all? Hi, Core. Hello. Thank you. Thank you very much. Are you enjoying Stardew? Oh, right. He comes out again, right? And then I have to sneak.
People believe in her as much as in the child.
Stay away from me!
Don't you get it?
Does he still... Does he go in through here anyway? Yeah, you do.
We can't do this the easy way.
Does he go back and forth now? Like, does he just go through the other one now? I think he does. Yeah, he still does. Fucking hell, right. I have to go and duke him a while, I guess. Because, like, there's no way I don't have to go there. Wait, can I not go through here? What? That's bull. That's bull. No, that's bull. That's bull. I guess they don't want me to have my slingshot arm because he doesn't wear a helmet and I could one-shot him. Oh, that doesn't work? Oh, okay. This is bigger than you! I'm really horny! Please, let me fuck my crazy wife! That's literally what he's saying. Like, no joke. That is what he's saying. You're full of it. Can I go through this door? Oh, fuckity hell. Okay. I don't know what he wants from here. We didn't need a knife, among other things, yo. Run away from the Count. I am super trying. Here, hold on.
Stay away from me! Don't you get it? This is bigger than you.
How would I go through here? Oh, okay, through those. Okay. I mean, I could, I guess. Not saying I agree. I think I could actually use that. I think I might be able to use that. Not me pausing on the L. He's a bit of an interesting character. He went to Uppsala to become a priest, was a shit student, and parted instead, but somehow became the royal priest for Charles the 6th? No, the 11th? Wow, that's an exigency. They became great friends, and he later baptized Charles the 12th and Ulrica Eleonora. I'm assuming they are very important people.
Believe in her as much as in the child. Stay away from me!
Yeah, stay away from me. You're so weird.
Don't you get it?
Uh-oh. He's so much faster! Stop being fast! He could be trying to fuck us. Well, he did just fuck us. The pointy end of his... Well, not... Yeah, well, okay. With the long end of the sword.
People believe in her as much as in the child. Stay away from me! Don't you get it? This is
oh, I can't go... Why can't I go through there? Wait, so can I go... Hold up. Hold up. Hold up. Let me just... Hold up. Let me just hold up. Future king and later queen of Sweden. Ah! Okay, so very important.
People believe in her as much.
Can I just go through here? Oh, no. See, I'm not allowed to use that. I don't know what you do want from me.
This is bigger than you. Give up. Surrender your brother.
Why?
We can't do this the easy way.
I don't want to do that, though.
You'll all die if you take him away from us.
Yeah, genuinely, though.
You'll simply disappear.
No, that's a lie. No, the world will care a little bit,
Just
I think.
let go.
You've lived a life for so long. You can't see the truth anymore.
You literally don't know what you're saying. Wait, I can't go back through?
This world is not burning.
This is bull. This is bull. This is bull. I don't know if they actually want me to backtrack. You know? I don't know if they actually want me to backtrack. I'm just gonna backtrack because it kind of seems like they do.
People believe in her as much as in the child.
But I am still gonna break this. Just cause.
Don't you get it? This is bigger than you.
Why is he slow walking? Can he just not run with what he has?
We can't do this the easy way.
You'll crazy! You'll all die if you take him away
Don't be
Whee!
so dramatic. You'll simply disappear, and the world won't care.
The world will care a lot. I'm the main character.
Life for so long! You can't see the truth anymore!
I'm gonna go here. I think this is a new place. That's a line, you know it. Ah, here we go. You are?
Go to hell!
Okay, so they literally just wanted me to, like...
I need to find the others. Quick! Must be
I'm gonna just quickly break this. Don't.
You ruined my shoulder for good.
For good? But my slingshot. Yo, but my slingshot though. You know. Oh, but my slingshot though. Hi, Seedling. How are you feeling, buddy?
Noisy.
Is he?
Chose the hard way.
Did I?
No time. Quick, move.
I hear you.
I know you do.
Sloppy.
No, I'm just like really tired. Oh, do I have to like? Oh, okay.
Lose him quick.
I can't lose it. You're making too much noise. Your face is making too much
Cover
noise.
won't save you from me.
I know it won't. It's not supposed to. That was like literally not the point. What do you mean? Are you combating me? Where indeed? Well, you're gonna have to come back at some point. Are you gonna go in a circle towards me? Don't want you to. But I think you are. Oh, I don't have the rats to look for him.
You could do it.
Don't stop.
Maybe lock him inside those cells.
Believe. Oh shit, could I? Could I actually? That'd be so funny though. Yo, that'd be so funny if I could lock him in a cell. Hi Phantom! Hello!
You're stuck here. Wherever you go,
Good.
I'll
Hi Zone.
find you.
Your face
I've
will
been
find you.
trained for this.
You have been? Well, your training's pretty shitty. Your training's honestly trash. Have you considered getting better? Like, have you considered, like, just objectively improving?
You know how to hide, I'll give you that.
I know. It's like the one thing I'm good at. Oh, first new pet stacks. I love when seedling pet stacks. Wait, I didn't read if you were better now. Did you answer? I am not here. Oh, okay. Never mind. I didn't ask anything. I'm gonna assume you're better. Need to give the characters time to deliver the lines. Yeah, apparently I was not allowed to duke him. That would be so funny though. I wonder if it actually is possible. But I just, I didn't do it
Your
correctly.
survival instinct, I admire it. You've been through a lot, I can tell. It
I
makes
know.
this even more exciting.
Does it? That's really weird. It's really weird that you're so excited to trace a little girl. Like, it's really super weird. Genuinely, I'm concerned for you. Like, maybe don't.
Come on, keep going. Hugo, Mother, Lucas. They're all that matters. This down.
Okay, it's so slow. Yo, it's so slow. It's genuinely so slow. For real, for real?
Do you really think hiding behind that will save you?
I'm not hiding behind anything. Uh-oh, I fucked up. But yeah, I was kind of hoping that it would. I'm not gonna lie.
She liked you, you know, Emily.
Why would
But
she
you're
like
too
me?
much of a threat. For us. For the child.
Because the child can't love you if I'm still alive? Because, like, what does that say about you? Nothing good. Hope you know that. Like, nothing good. Okay, wait. I gotta do more pushing. Ah, push it. I know. It's really loud. He's gonna notice me. Blah, 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 blah.
Go.
Am I leaving? Or am I, like, locking him there? Because, like, I feel like I'm just leaving.
Sooner or later, I will find you.
Does it not just, like, seem like I'm just straight up leaving?
Where's the exit? Give me a goddamn exit.
Running again? You are tired.
I am. Well, no, actually, I'm really tired. Like, I am genuinely really tired.
Shut the hell up.
You gotta... I know I am. Hi, Badge. He's trying to kill you or molest you. It seems like both. Like, let's not find out. Yeah.
Now, I'll see you where your blood flows.
Please, stop this madness. I can't. Don't faint now. Hugo, they'll take him away.
He loves this person, Emily, who wants her brother. Yeah, he put his dick in crazy. And now he's also crazy. That's why you don't put your dick in crazy. Oh, guys. Those people? Instant ban. Instant ban.
It's all you have. You know it all.
It's okay. We're gonna summon rats.
Use it against them.
Just summon a bunch of rats. Like, just don't stop summoning rats, is what I'm saying. We should have been concerned, like, way more concerned.
Yes, you failed, but this child was never truly yours.
You're burning them too? Oh, you're so weird.
Hugo won't heal the wounds of your past.
But he will eat
He
you.
will fill no void in you. You'll die. Everybody will.
No. He will be loved.
Yeah, her arm is outright
He
broken.
will shine.
Like, she said it's broken
Bright as
forever.
sun. Repel this darkness, and I'll just be a mother, watching the first steps of a god.
Shut up! You have no claim to this family!
Amicia!
Call her a bitch.
How are you still alive?
Call her a bitch. Tell her she's a dumb whore. Come on.
Where's Hugo?
Use the anger.
Inside, go! Run!
Whoop! There it is. Whoop! There it is. We should have let
Sorry, my love, but this
the other
one's a hell of a
guy
fighter.
murder him. That's what we should have done. Why didn't we? Why didn't we just do that?
Now this.
Like, do you think Hugo's not gonna summon rats? Because you just took his entire family away. Do you want to know when the playthrough video hits the last hour so you can plan if you want to finish it? Yes, actually that would be super helpful. Thank you.
Can't refuse. You caught me by surprise. I'm impressed.
Why?
Quite something, you know. You face me, thinking with all your soul that you can defeat me.
I can. You won't have my brother.
Such dedication.
I love how the other guys are just like kind of standing there.
You have a burning fire inside you. But a flame without discipline doesn't make a soldier.
Because I wanna fully absorb him getting eaten by rats.
I'm not a soldier.
Oh, I know. You fight because you don't have the choice. I chose this life. This is why you'll fail.
You talk a lot, coward.
He really is a coward. He's fighting like a wounded child, basically.
Stand your ground. Grip that sword properly. You're a disgrace.
You broke my arm. How would I do that? How would I do that with a broken arm? Literally.
You never fight to defend yourself. Fight to kill, to conquer.
Whatever. You're still a coward.
Okay, but is she wrong?
Who do you think you are to defy me?
I'm Amicia Daroon.
Shut up.
And I kneel to no one.
Shut up.
Woo! Yo! What the fuck? Hugo's gonna see this and he's gonna summon so many rats. I keep saying this, but it's gonna happen. Like, obviously, they're gonna summon rats. What did you think was gonna happen?
You kneel just fine.
No! Please stop! Please!
You cut off my hair?
From one mother to
What an incredibly weird thing to do. What an incredibly weird thing to do.
Victor.
I gave you a haircut! What is this, Japan?
I'm sorry. War took its toll on my husband. He gets carried away sometimes.
A bad hair. I think she can rock it. I think she can rock it.
I admire you. Your children.
I know in
strong.
some... Oh shit, an ad is gonna start. Listen, I actually have to pause. Damn. I know in some places, like if you lose a fight, you lose your hair. But pretty sure that's not a French thing. Okay, I'm gonna be right back. I don't want you to miss the cutscenes. I'll pause it real quick. Hi. I had a biscuit. It was great. I mean, he's a psychopath, incredibly. How she so describes that. She likes to understate things a little bit. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. If there's a sequel, we don't have to model her hair. Okay, but like hair modeling is really hard, so I kind of get it. Hey, Mushy, thank you. Hello. Thank you for welcome backs. A Choky Pringle? No, I had a Sultana. I had one of my Sultana. Oh wow, you can't even see that because the light is literally too flashy. Yeah, 2. I have 2 left. I have 2 left. What is your shirt today? Ferelden. Kingdom of Ferelden. Also, wait. Kingdom of Ferelden. Sorry, my boobs are bending it. It's from Dragon Age. Hi, Mama. Hello. Sultana. So Sultana. I get it at the Dutch store because I used to always have it as a little treat, like 11 o'clock like snack. When I was a kid. There's a cat hair right here. When I was a kid. So I don't know if it's just like a Dutch thing. I think it might just be a Dutch thing, but it's like a little biscuit. It has berries in them. It's very nice. They're very light. They're very tasty still. They don't have a ton of sugar in it, so I can eat them a lot and not feel sluggish afterwards. They're very nice. But I think they might actually just be Dutch. Your boobs also mirrored on screen. They do. Oh, it depends. So this one, here it isn't. But here it does. It's because here I mirror my webcam, the other one, because it looks funny otherwise. Tinsley's the Royalists. In Ferelden. Berries with cream. Berries and cream. Berries and cream. I keep considering making that an alert, but I didn't. I'll always sing it. And we hear no if cutting a woman's hair short was a bad thing back in France. I don't think it was, but Google it and tell me. Where'd you get your choker? I think my partner would love something like that. I just got it on Etsy, I'm fairly certain. Back when Etsy was not trash yet. Unfortunately, I would not shop on Etsy anymore because most of them are now drop sellers. You'll have to be pretty sure that you are not buying from a drop shipper because they're very, very bad quality. But this is still good quality. But I bought it 10 years ago. I could probably check my Etsy in a break if you're still here. I can check Etsy to see if it's still in there. I don't think it will be, but I could check. Oh, my alerts are off! Oh no! Nope, it's too late. Fuck. Sorry, Tendell! Tendell, thank you so much for the gift stuff. We hit 900! By like a cent of the 250 off. Incredible. Tendell, thank you so much. That is very kind of you. Mama, enjoy your emotes. We're getting new ones in May. I'm gonna check again where we are on the commission list. Let's see. Okay, there's still 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people in front of me in the queue. 5 people, and then she's gonna work on our emotes. Comrade. Also, hi Patrick, did I say hello? Okay, I did. A name I haven't heard spoken in a long time. It sounds like an interesting biscuit. Wow! Dutch raisin biscuits. Yeah, they're raisins, I guess. Well, bosvruchten, so they're not technically raisins, I think? Well, I don't know. Blueberries. This one is blueberries. Well, there's different types, I guess. I forgot that commercial. It's so weird and a little bit cursed. Like affordable healthcare in walkable cities? Yeah, just like those. And sultanas for your walkable cities. When you're going on a walk in your city, you can have a sultana and you'll feel better. You mirror it so you look at chat when you glance over. Yes, exactly. That's why I do it. I got a Bear School medallion on Etsy ages ago. Yeah, I got my first Witcher medallion on Etsy too. It's still solid. I still have it. Drop sellers, yeah, they're everywhere now. But line must go up. 10 years ago, right? It's still very solid. It's very good quality. Yeah. Been working on a bathroom layout. Anyone have opinions about bathrooms? It should be clear colors. And presumably no pink or avocado green. Etsy's now filled with stolen goods, drop sellers, people straight up stealing. It's weird. Etsy's no longer good, unfortunately. And their listing fees are weird too. Same as with eBay. I was thinking of selling some stuff on eBay. Like I was looking around. Did you know eBay now charges like 12.5% on like your final sale price? And I'm in Canada, so it's not even all, like it's even more. So like you have to put HST on your stuff now. So if I sold like a Charizard card for $1,000 dues, they charge 12.5% on the final sale price, plus HST, plus shipping costs. So if I sold like $1,000 card or something, in the end, I would probably have to pay eBay something like $200. It's weird, y'all. Yard sales is where it's at. You should yard sale. Find a seller on Etsy and see if they link their actual shop sites. Yes. Go see if you can find their own shop sites. I think a lot of them have Shopify now as well. But yeah, try to buy through their own store. Because then they don't have to pay any fees. Also, Pidge, the mushroom looks kind of gross. I hope you removed it. It looks kind of gross. And you said it smells gross too. So don't do it for the yay. Do it for the yippee. Okay, well still. Yay. Yippee. You got both. Hazel just ate a sting bug. Oh no! Oh, Marshall! Are you calling a bosvrucht you bosvrucht? I love bosvrucht. It's tangy and sweet. The other thing I do is a reverse image shirts. Drop sellers are lazy and will all use the same image. Yes. If you are buying anything, always reverse image search and see if it doesn't maybe show up on what are they now? What are the worst sites? I guess Shein. What's that other site that people buy rings for 30 cents off of? Cookies with the Temu, also one. There's another one. I forget the name. Alibaba? I think Alibaba. I love cookies with raisins. I can't see emotes well enough to use them, but not having adverts is glorious. Oh yeah, okay. Well, you know, no adverts is pretty good. Give Jinsey, I would like to make a deal. I give $9.99. You give 999 bits. Exterminatus. Okay. Think that's a very good deal. I would even repeat that deal if you want. Let me scroll back to Exterminatus. There's a whole podcast on dropshipping. Oh my goodness, yeah, and there's also people who try to teach other people to dropship. It's weird. It's weird out here. Oh my god, it's not even 99, it's 10. I got a cent for free. I'll wait until it leaves. Ice, thank you so much. Thank you very, very much. That's very kind of you. There he goes. There goes planet Earth. I put 9.99. I guess they rounded it up. Wow. They actually gave me a cent for free. That's so nice of them. I have so many opinions on bathrooms. Give us one opinion on bathrooms. As emotes will take as long as they would if I drew them, not because I'm busy, because I'm lazy. Wow. I already paid them in advance. Never bought anything from Etsy, nor will I ever now. It used to be a really good site. I got a lot of really cool stuff from Etsy. Genuinely, I got a lot of cool stuff. Just not anymore. Like the little Majora's Mask. I know I always point to Majora's Mask. The Majora's Mask right there. Etsy. Right there. Etsy. Yeah, dang eBay. Exactly. Places where raisins are very common. Oh, I didn't even know that. I used to use eBay, but not in a long time. I used to use it quite a lot. That's why I was like, oh, I could just use that to sell stuff. But now I don't think I want to do that. Sultanas are a cultivar of grape, commonly used for dried fruit, but can be eaten fresh or used for wine. They are very tasty. I can recommend sultanas to anybody. It's okay to 3D scan a Games Workshop mini, make a change to make it legally distinct and sell it because you are still getting a high-ish quality resin miniature for close to half the price. Yeah, and you don't get ripped off. Imagine getting $200 for doing nothing. I know. Back to the Walmart we go. Yeah, I'm probably actually going to just have an actual yard sale because we have a yard to have a sale in now. Call me eBay because that would be me. Sleeping stream? Xiaxia? Sleeping stream? Yeah. It's almost garage sale season here. Yeah, it's really nice weather. I'm gonna have my first one ever. Amazon Prime now plays ads during their shows. I saw. I don't pay for any of them anymore. I only buy my streamers stuff. No one else. Alibaba and Wish. I think, didn't Wish go out of business? Am I wrong? I feel like they did. Mercari? Yo, I've never even heard of Mercari. There's even more. Oh no. Funny enough, a 3D printed Warhammer model looks way better and more detailed than the Games Workshop official ones. Really? Yo, that's kind of funny, actually. I wonder why the craft store Michaels was launching an Etsy clone. Didn't realize they had gotten as bad as it had. I guess they dragged the expectations low enough that corporate felt like they would be outshined. It really is a line go up thing, Yokals, where, and I always use Patreon as a really good example because Patreon was created by another content creator, and they only made it because every other place was charging money and you couldn't really have like a consolidated place to put extra stuff for people who liked your work. And then they went public and now line must go up, and now Patreon sucks because now Patreon has a bunch of fees too. Platform fees and stuff. It's really weird. It's like the line go up just ruins everything. My bathroom has to meet Australian standards for wheelchair accessibility, which constrains it a lot. Okay. But color-wise, though, it doesn't, right? Does it? Ishivara has the best Exterminatus emote. Do you not like my fine emote? I do like Mushy's emote. I use Mushy's nod a lot. I think I use exclusively Mushy nod whenever I nod now. Because it's like the only, okay, here's the thing. No, I'm going to say it again. Here's the thing. Most nod emotes, they nod like this. Or Mushy's nod is probably the only one I have that nods with their eyes closed. So you can go, like you're actually agreeing instead of being angry or really excited. You know? Does that make sense? I think it does. I'm still so mad Texas Speech stopped. It was such an amazing YouTube show. Oh my god, yeah. And it's because of Games Workshop, right? Oh no, we're stuck talking again. Oops. Do not use a dark gray grout. Only use black or white. See, we didn't have a choice here. Can you paint grouts? Because we didn't have a choice, obviously, because we didn't build the house. Don't who? I should write the better art of the deal. I make good deals, also. You watch me play game, and your eardrums rupture. Good deal? I think so. You can still find good things on Etsy, it just requires more work. And even if you do, still check if they have their own store. Because Etsy charges a ridiculous amount of money for listings as well. And sometimes they just hold your money. I've heard that as well from a lot of people, where they'll just hold your money for no reason. Etsy's weird. Don't use Etsy. Don't use Etsy. Try to use their own stores if you can. Gotta become human. Tyndall, good luck. Godspeed. There's even paid courses on how to be successful on YouTube. Some of these paid courses even show you how to steal people's content and play it off as your own. Yes, those Kaminari and also AI channels. There's a lot of those now where they'll just like feed something into an AI tool and just poop it out 5 videos a day. It's weird. It's also partially why I feel like I don't really want to upload on YouTube as much anymore, because it's just like a barrage, you know? I put so much time into my videos and YouTube doesn't care. I'm thinking the bathroom will be linoleum rather than towel because it's softer in falls. That's true. That's true. We'll have no grouts. Yar har wink wink. Feedle DD. Yes. Walmart owns Wish now? Oh, it's still going? Damn. What if Temu is just a Wish.com rebrand? It kind of is. I think they're all operating at a loss. My current house has brown grout matching the towels and it's kind of better, but an impervious alternative would be better. You can get plant-derived epoxy now. So our entire bathroom everywhere is white. We did not get to build it. The guy from Pomplamoose? Wait, huh? Did I miss something? Huh? Green line go up. Yep. Every time something's gone public, it loses what made it good. It does! But you're so right, though. It really does. Fidge. Love this one. That one's cute. Yeah, see? Like, a lot of the nods are just, like, excited or whatever. But Mushy's nod is just like, yeah, exactly. You are so right. You are so correct. I remember a story about Wish brand body armor. Dude thought he was buying cheap Kevlar and got shitty foam and cardboard. That's what I mean. Like the joke about it's so-and-so from Wish. It's like we joke, but it's true. Capitalism, make incredible innovations until it makes business sense to ruin something good because line must go up. Must have contrast between certain surfaces so vision impaired people can find the door and the toilet seat. Could you make, weirdly, could you just make a outline? Could you outline stuff? Would that look weird? I don't know that it would actually look weird. They're headbanging a little. You can't paint grout. And I guess I'm stuck with the gray. My lazy time has ended. We had a talk with one of the 4 professors from our last exam to see what we should learn. Long story short, he didn't rule out anything. Xiasha, how? Okay, I know that doctor studies are really, really long. How long do you think you'll still be studying? I think some doctors say they study forever, but I guess how long until you feel like you're like a doctor? You can get grout in any color you want, but grout is still nasty. It's really hard to clean. You have to be very meticulous and it takes a while. It's only a monthly thing for us. All green line is good as long as you make it green. Should I turn on some music again? I'm gonna keep this open. I'm gonna keep open some music so that whenever I get stuck talking a bunch, we have some music. Here, let's listen to let's listen to this one. Oh, it's too sad, sorry. Never mind. Let's listen to... No, not that one. What is this? Oh, it's the Sims buy mode. I don't remember why I downloaded that one. We could listen to the X-Files opening theme. Jinzy. That's not a thing. Here, let's listen to Gotcha. I downloaded that one not too long ago. While I catch up the chat. I see your videos. Thank you, Zelda. I do appreciate everyone watching. I'm always so, I don't know. I feel like I'm not surprised anymore. But I'm always, no matter what, like whenever people watch me stuff, or they hang out, or like, God forbid, they give me stuff, I'm always like, wow. All my bullies were dumb and wrong. Actually, people like me sometimes. I'm okay. I'm pretty cool, I think. It feels very nice. It's still a little bit surreal sometimes. Or I'm like, really? You picked me? You're here for me? On purpose? How? Thank you, I'm so flattered. Genuinely though, I am. God, you could literally be anywhere. You could literally be anywhere. You could be doing anything. But you're here talking to me? Yo, so cool. I love how in the background, Amisha's mom is about to get murdered, and I'm like, no, I gotta catch up the chat. I love my ADHD pills, actually. They're great. Thank you for the lesbians. Who was that? Slandor, thank you so much for the biddies. You're excellent. I'm happy to choose you anytime. Thank you. I appreciate it. I've seen a few Warhammer movie videos on YouTube made with shitty AI. Oh my god, there's so much shitty AI videos out there now. But I'm just confused how it gets views because it's so obviously bad. A lot of those top 10. Yes! Oh my god, those are so easy to AI. Bandar, those are the ones. Those and, oh my god, you will never expect what happened here. Or like crazy stories from blah blah blah. Those? Clickbaity. Regarding text-to-speech and Games Workshop, yes and no. Games Workshop decided to more aggressively protect their IP against content creators directly using their materials, sometimes sending cease and desist letters. Text-to-speech didn't get one and were protected because fair use via comedy. The creator got scared of Games Workshop coming after them, though, and stopped as a result. I get that, though. I still get that, because if they cross the line once, what's to say they won't do it again? And it looks like text-to-speech is a lot of work. So my Witcher 1 and 2 in X minutes, animating those take really, really long. It took ages. It took ages to do that. And I feel like text-to-speech has very similar animation. So if you work on something for a really long time and you're never sure if maybe Games Workshop at some point is going to say, oh, actually, you're not allowed to do it anymore and demonetize your entire library, I understand if you want to put your energy somewhere else. I fully get it. I'm not surprised. I'm sorry though, because I liked text-to-speech. I thought it was funny. I don't even Warhammer, but I really like text-to-speech. It's funny. Oh, did I see that correctly? Aunt's here! Bye! Have a great rest of your day! Seeing a lot of YouTubers leaving the platform because they're tired? Yeah, it's partially... Okay, so I can't focus my work very well. Hopefully now I will with my meds. But I also left because it's just a lot. YouTube is a lot. I like Twitch also because I can talk to people. As you can tell, I really like sitting here and talking to people. It's probably one of my favorite things. Can't really do that on YouTube. Anything you upload, you need to put your face on so nobody can pirate it. I put them, in the new ones, I'll put them at the start, at the end, but not anything else. The rest will just be voiceover. And, you know, back when I did do, people would use, or they would steal my Warcraft guides a lot. They also stole my Warcraft facts. Some people stole my Witcher lore. They would upload it elsewhere, though. They wouldn't upload it on YouTube. They'd upload it somewhere else. Which is very strange. Or they take my entire script and they would put it in a different language. They did that, a bunch of people did that to my Stardew Valley video. Where they would literally just copy my entire video. They would even use my footage sometimes. And they would just voice it over with a different language. Because, you know, I wouldn't know. I don't speak Indian, for example. So there are a few Indian channels who stole it. Very weird. YouTube is very weird. And you can't steal this. How are you gonna steal this? I'm actively streaming. Try it. Anybody remember when AI was supposed to make industry more efficient so we'd all have more free time for art? I remember. Have carpet floor to show you're not afraid. Do not put carpet floor in your bathroom. I would never be excited while nodding. See? That's why it's perfect. Can AI please do air traffic control and stuff and let humans do art? I would not trust AI to do air traffic control right now though. Imagine. I would simply never fly again. Taconti, founder of Patreon, is one half of the music group Pomplamoose. Oh, okay. Sorry, yeah. Sometimes I forget what I said earlier, Phantom. Yeah, that guy. That guy. He screwed it. He lost touch. Sometimes content creators become really big and they just lose touch completely. You can use dark archetypes and skirting boards against a light wall and floor. See, is that an option? Maybe that's an option. Sims music is chill as hell, I know. Not what I wanted to listen to right now though. I think I downloaded it for a video. 6.5 years? I'm done studying medicine end of next month, but when I start working, I still need to do my specialization, which will take 6 years. So maybe after that I would say I'm done like proper studying for knowledge in the fields. So you'll be working while specializing? Because that seems like a lot. That seems like a lot at once. I just saved my PC from dying. Why is music? Oh, because we're talking and I figured we should have some music in the background. You are cool. We all love you. All of you? That seems like too many people, I think. Maybe too many people. We all came here to be square. Thank you, like. You're a good host for a chill chat party? I think so. I think I'm more chill. I don't know. I don't know if I'm more chill in my medication or not. I feel like I am. I feel like I'm trying to do less at the same time and maybe that's helpful. Does it feel helpful? I think it is. Where are we going? Everywhere. I'm here because I find you mildly entertaining. I'll take it. Literally stuck around this channel because I decided after a few streams that Jinsey was the type of person I could chill with. Genuine and intelligent. Okay, so the last part, I tricked you. I just say my thoughts out loud a lot. Do you like more visibility? But please stop asking us to run. It's time to go jogging. Try to make every stream for the ones I don't manage to catch. Just imagine I'm throwing my annoying little anecdotes in from the off. You're not annoying. What do you mean? Where to now? It's very hard to find solid info about building online now. If it's not government sites, it's a risk that it's AI, and I don't want glorified predictive text telling me how to build a good house. Exactly. This is also why I only really watch channels now Either when they're older, so I know they're real people, or when their face is in there. That's the only time I watch videos anymore. And I don't watch that many YouTube videos anymore to begin with, I think. I watch a lot more streams now. I really like watching streams. It feels more comfortable. Yesterday, when I was just eating my breakfast, I had Carson on in the background, and he has a very soothing voice too. It was very comfortable. I like comfortable noises in the background. I don't think I'm alone in this chat. Okay. Don't get me wrong, I love you, but does that mean I have to meet your father? When we are all in your love, understand what I said when I said no. I love this song. I'm not even gonna try to hit that high note. Huh? Oh god! Eyes! Sometimes. Where is it? You fucker. I'm gonna turn it down. You interrupted Simple and Clean. You bastards. I should have disabled that. Okay, but technically I guess we are listening to music, so I can't really be mad. But I am. I can't believe you interrupted Simple and Clean. I'm so mad at you right now. Out of all the songs. Alright, well I guess Kickback is okay too, but you're still a jerk. I can take your temperature if you'd like to confirm that I'm hot? No, I know I am. I do know that. Now I gotta scroll up. I forgot where I was. I'm gonna steal Tyndall because reasons? No, Tyndall is mine. Actually. Did you just... We're not allowed to listen to anything today. Now you have to listen to Korn. Not with a P. We need to kick out AI from providing information online. It's not reliable and it can be very dangerous. I agree. Missed AI discussions? Probably good. Y'all! Do I need to put a cooldown on this? Are you gonna interrupt Callboy? Are you gonna interrupt Electric Callboy? Would you be so brazen? You shouldn't be. You're all monsters. Should I tell you news that will be mildly annoying? Depends if you really want to share it. TikTok has stolen everything and nothing streamers or creators do will fix it. Absolutely true. I'm also not on TikTok anymore. I'm just leaving everywhere. This is the only place you will find me. I'm gonna maybe, if I actually cut out YouTube fully, completely, I'll probably move to 5 hours. But only if I can do it healthily. People always look for an easy way out. There are more options out there, but not all provide enough money to earn a living. Yeah, and I get it. Capitalism, man. Not even once, but like, don't steal like small people's work. I'm small. How are the meds treating you, if you don't mind me asking? Oh, they're great, actually. So yesterday, I took them for the first time yesterday. So I guess for the people who were not here at the start of the stream, I took, I've started ADHD medication. I started yesterday. And, it's just absolutely zoinked me out completely. It zoinked me out even harder at the start. I took it in the first, like when it first kicked in for like an hour or two, I was just like fully on drugs. Like I felt on drugs. Like I was taking recreational drugs. But then my worries just stopped. I stopped worrying. I didn't worry all day. And then I managed to focus on playing Rune Factory 3 fully. Like, to the point I turned off my second stream, or my second screen. It was great, actually. I love them. I love my new meds. My new literal emotional support meds. I stuck around for the content in the community. Everyone is chill and supportive. I think so too. I think I have a pretty chill community. Do you guys feel chill? I have a pretty chill community. Yeah. Y'all cool. AI is just the latest. Machines will do the work so workers can relax. It turns out to be machines do work so owners get rich and workers stay. Yeah, basically. We need UBI. Mama Sims, I agree completely. Doing the specialization test requires you to provide evidence that you worked X hours in the field and completed certain amount of surgeries and things like that. So you basically study to do your job properly and in the end get tested by a committee that asks you some friendly questions in the field. Like talking job stuff with colleagues. Okay. All right, I got you. Okay, well, that's good that you're almost there, Xiasha. I know I don't say this enough. I'm so proud of you. I'm proud of everyone who works in healthcare specifically because it's such a hard job, but I have a cousin who also is a doctor. He's a heart surgeon. I know how much work it is. I know how long it takes. I know how much stress it is. I'm so proud of you that you chose to do this. That you chose to pursue this. It's fucking hard. You're super cool, and I'm proud of you. He's one of my favorite online people, but I try not to say so often because if she's already stubbornly refuses to die. Can you imagine with an ego tool? Season, it's okay. You can tell me like once or twice a month. And hey, listen, if I do stubbornly refuse to die this month, we are roughly $600 off. I'm gonna do a 12-hour stream again. I haven't done one in a while. On the last Sunday of the month, we'll do a little 12-hour stream. We'll just do something chill. I got what you meant, Mama. Don't worry. What is this song? Which one? Oh, there were too many skips. If it's the song from before Gidlix, the first song that got skipped, that's Simple and Clean. The one I was listening to was the Kingdom Hearts version, but it's sung by Utada Hikaru, and I actually love her voice. But yeah, Simple and Clean. I only watch YouTube videos in the evening and they're mostly historical food videos. The only time right now that I watch YouTube videos anymore is while I'm working out. You just vibing now? I'm still going to finish the game patch. I'm still going to do it. I'm just going to overtime apparently. Forever? Gotta keep you on your toes by skipping a great song. Schedules are there to be revised. Exactly. ADH Dino has entered the chat. I need to remind you that I cannot be trusted with power. Oh, I already knew that. I just thought you liked me, okay? We bragged about this in Discord, but this bass guitar part was a lot of fun to learn. Oh, from Kickback? Yeah. It sounds really fun. The temp was when you said, if I'm more chill on meds. I feel like I am. I don't know. I feel like I am. A new DJ has entered the arena. Turn Callboy to 11, but then you can't hear me. What trendsetter? You're a monster! Tyndall! Oh no, my son is running me ragged. Well, TikTok is good for promoting your stuff. See, yes and no, Nishiko. I don't think that's true anymore. I think that used to be true, but it isn't anymore. In the early days, it definitely was true, but now, having done it for a while, if you actually want to promote your stuff through TikTok, you have to find a niche, apparently, and then quit. And say, I'm quitting. Go here. Because I did Witcher Facts TikToks for a while. I had over 100,000 followers. I had lots of views on every single upload. But it was maybe a handful of people that actually came to check out my other stuff, right? Until I quit. Until I said, I'm not going to upload anymore. Here's where I am. Even though my Twitch was on every single upload as well. That's the only time that people actually came to check things out, which is very interesting. It's definitely interesting. I don't really blame them though, because when I still use TikTok, when I still scroll through TikTok, I never went to check out people's pages either, even when I really liked their stuff. TikTok just doesn't really want you to do that. Even funnier, if you follow somebody on TikTok, there's a much bigger chance that you will never see them on your For You page again. And most people scroll their For You page, not their followed list, so it kind of tanks your views. It's so weird how that works. Pendant keychain. Kickback is so great. Yeah, I love Kickback. Also, welcome in, Nishko. Hello. Yeah, I can't design or build houses yet, so my course of study is safe as far as that's concerned. Yeah, I think AI has a lot of ideas, but doesn't really know how to execute yet. Not so sure about the design part. It depends. I think if they were to try to design buildings right now, they would almost always have problems. You would always still need somebody to double check it. No matter what. I accidentally discovered Rune Factory at a closing Kmart. Best $3 ever spent. Yeah, it's the first Rune Factory I've played. I'm playing Rune Factory 3 Special Edition. It's very fun. I like it a lot. If you average out the designs of 50 houses, you will get a mess. True. A professional, finally, just a warning, make sure your medications are in stock. A lot of C2 ADHD meds have had significant back orders for over a year. I got them immediately. I don't know that it's... Season, are you in Canada, if you don't mind me asking? Because I got them prescribed last Thursday? Maybe? Was it on Thursday? Wait, I can check. I got them prescribed. Yeah, Thursday. I called it Thursday. She said, this is what you're getting. They were ready for pickup on Friday. Literally the next day, which was definitely surprisingly fast. Yeah, you save lives. Incredibly cool, Xiaxia. Xiaxia is amazing, lovely, badass, cool. So we're working towards? Yes. I didn't technically have a goal. I always feel like, okay. So streaming, I stream full-time now. This is literally my full-time job. So I look at... A lot of people have left Ko-fi and Patreon for obvious reasons, but I add up Ko-fi and Patreon, and then I make a goal that allows me to not die. But I don't always have something interesting to do, because there's still a lot of things I'm working on from previous goals, and I don't want to add more. So a 12-hour stream is manageable, but I'm still working on the merch. I'm still working on, from a previous charity goal, I'm working on The Witcher 3 in X minutes. I'm still working on science in The Witcher. I'm still working on a bunch of things, so I kind of want to finish my list first before I do anything big again. And then I gotta also do my cosplays. So there's just a lot. Here's the deal. I will tell you how cool you are, like the brazen simp I am, but you have to promise not to stab me. I can do that. For now. There were lots of rats at the end. No, I will just overtime today. It's okay. Just play simple and clean again. Maybe I will, honestly. The strong urge to have Jinsey quote more poetry and touch. I will ignore it. I will ignore it. Do you like you? A chat was too happy with the song. Velociraptor? Yep. Yep. Nice. Thank you so much. That's very kind of you. Thank you very much. For Tyndall. Thank you so much also, Tyndall. Thank you for the teamwork. So cute, so kind, so wonderful. Thank you. Very sweet of you. You already gave me $10 today. You already summoned Exterminatus. You're too nice to me today. I got called a simp this week and I can't even argue. I've been desperately trying to persuade someone adorable that I'm a good person, really. I think you're a good person. Just call me in. I'll vouch. No mercy. Back that Tyndall. Oh. That's right. Tyndall has power. The Witcher facts on TikTok were how I found you. And I did miss your content, so I went to watch your stuff on Twitch. I was already on Twitch, so like, why not? Right? And it's, Fish, was it because I quit? Was it because I uploaded the video where I said I was quitting? Because I feel like that's where most people found me. For me, I was stubborn and terrified of actually going to a new thing, and I felt like a stalker. No! Content creators love when you stalk them on different platforms. Not in real life, but on different platforms. TikTok is where I found you too. Really dig your vibe, so followed you at Twitch. Yeah, thank you. I do appreciate everyone checking me out from other platforms. I really do. The AI would forget the bathrooms in building design. You don't need to go to the bathroom. Even the title of Kickback is clever. When you initially make contact to an object with a chainsaw and it sort of recoils back at you. That's chainsaw kickback? Oh, I didn't even know that. I only knew it from guns. Apparently some builders have forgotten that you need 2 doors between a kitchen and a bathroom. While humans are building bad houses, AI will have bad material to learn for. Oops. It's interesting enough to me that did you not die? Yeah, I was kind of hoping people would just want me to not die and keep streaming instead. I guess that's why I named it that. Yeah. I don't know. It's my full-time job now, so It's what I do. The drug back order stuff is a big thing in the US. It has impacted other countries, but the US has not taken the steps to fix the problem. Still not my most effective medication because it's been out for close to a year. Woof. Yeah. New England, New Hampshire, so pretty close to Canada. If it's not a problem where you are, then I'm genuinely happy for you, because when I was doing retail pharmacy, some of the shortages made me come home and cry. I'm so sorry to hear that. Yeah, it's not been a problem here. I'm pretty happy about that. I'm sorry it is there. That sucks though. Just get a cat. Your medication's out of stock, just get another cat. Leonard, thank you very much. Thank you for cats. You can gush and rave about how marvelous Jinsey is, but how about all the people that come and help make these experiences so fun too? Genuinely, okay, I know I already said this earlier, but you're right though. I genuinely also think, and it's partially why I ban so quickly, I genuinely think that I have people in my chat who elevate the experience for everyone. I feel like it's more fun because of the people we have here. I don't think I'm wrong in saying that. Start only beans for Lily and Arwen. I had one goal once where I bought them little Christmas outfits. They did not like the Christmas outfits. As he said, the US shortage has affected other countries. I'm just gonna be open. I'm on Adderall XR. The shortage was so bad I've been on brand name medication for over a year. That actually sucks. I've heard about Adderall shortages before, yeah. I think the one I'm on right now is gonna get a off-brand version soon, which is very good because apparently this one works for a lot of people. I feel like medications are an industry where a command economy works better than a free market. I think everyone should just be able to get the drugs they need at all times without a profit motive. Socialism. Our drugs, comrade. I have a 12-hour stream idea. If you do video editing or any of the other goals to finish off, but do it on stream while you're just chatting and set up a cam too. I don't know that it would be particularly interesting to watch me edit stuff, because I do get very absorbed. I probably wouldn't read chat very much. So I don't know about that. I know I've thought about it before though. I have thought about it before. Tyndall was collateral damage on the Skip song. Wow! Not this. Did not see the video saying you were quitting, but because I was surfing my For You page, I stopped seeing your stuff. And eventually I went to... Ah, so it's still technically because I quit. Indirectly, yeah. Stumbled in here because Flames is such a fanboy. I love Flames. I love him to death. He's probably the only person I actually like consistently talk about, what is it? Stream stuff with. And we kind of have the same brain in a lot of ways. I love Flames. I got you, fish. I love when US politics affect me. It is the best. There are too many shortcuts being made and products being rushed because they want to make that money fast. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. That's what I mean. That's why I don't think medication, healthcare should not come with a profit motive. It's weird. It's some weird energy. It's a very gratifying to hear. Jag, I feel like I should show you the one because Danny linked a birthday video. You were not here for this and I feel like you deserve to see it. I'm gonna show you because it's what you deserve. Oh, fuck. It's what you deserve. I'm gonna show you again. This one was Danny's. Look.
Rats, we are the rats. Celebrate another birthday batch. Michael, it's your birthday today. Cake and ice cream is on its way. And Michael, you're such a good boy this year. Open up your gifts while we all cheer.
Cursed! Okay. Ah, this one has to go louder. Don't comment on my entire song list, okay? It's valid. AI could do my job. No, AI could do my job because it's all hospitality and it would explode trying to communicate with any customer. True. Community that you have cultivated is very good. It is. Like up here, it should be free for everyone. Exactly like that. I want to watch Disney movies on Discord. Do you guys want to watch Disney movies on Discord? Everyone here's wonderful and makes my day even when muted mostly. Haha, Tyndall. You're cute and I love you. Thank you for existing. Uh-oh. I think I broke. Yup. I broke Mix It Up. I broke it.